Welcome back to the Great Give Radiothon on WNHH FM, your home for community radio, 103.5, live streamed at newhavenindependent.org. What a great 2 days we've embarked on. We do this every year when the Community Foundation for Greater New Haven helps not-for-profits, instead of competing, we're all raising money together and supporting causes. There's some prize money, and you can do your part. We're having the folks come in and tell us one by one why they're great to give money to. And we're both about to find out why I would recommend that you go to thegreatgive.org online, thegreatgive.org, don't forget the, and type in Elm City Shakespeare. No, Elm Shakespeare.
Elm Shakespeare.
Elm Shakespeare Company. Elm Shakespeare Company, one of the great institutions that make New Haven such a fun and rich place to live. And we have Rebecca Goodhart, who's still the newish producing artist director. Given you follow someone who was there forever, you get to be newish for a long time.
I'll take newish as long as it goes. It's our third season.
And your third season, that is definitely newish. And we're going to talk about that in a little while. And she's here with Benjamin Kearns, who's an actor who's going to be performing this summer in Elm City's production. Welcome, Benjamin.
Oh, good to be here.
And we're going to hear all about the great work you do. So, Rebecca and Benjamin, why should people... Oh, wait, before I ask you the why, did you bring a song or a poem to recite?
Well, Benjamin is going to come and he's got a little bit of text from the summer show, actually.
And what is the show?
The show, we're so excited this year because we're going back to, Elm has a great tradition of doing the less known, the less well-trodden plays in the canon. And so we're listened to our audiences, and after Romeo and Juliet and A Midsummer Night's Dream, we're doing Love's Labour's Lost, which is many people have never had a chance to see it. It's a wonderful, wonderful play. It's lyrical, it's romantic, it's quite funny, but it has, as the title suggests, it is not all fun and games.
And Benjamin Kearns, what's your role in the play?
I'm playing a character named Holofernes, who is a pedant and an academic, a scholar. He's a lover of language, and he certainly loves to hear language coming out of his own mouth.
So now you're going to treat us to a sample. Take it.
Well, actually, let me set up a little bit because we asked Ben, because Holofernes is such frankly, an old windbag. And he's hysterical within the show. But my fear is that he reinforces everyone's deepest fear about what Shakespeare might be, because he's all about rambling on and on and on. So I've asked, Benjamin is an amazing actor, has worked all over the country. And so there's a pivotal moment that really sums up what the show is about, where the young lover, Baroon, convinces his three compatriots that they need to give up what they've sworn to, which is 3 years of very dry academic study with no fun, no sleep, no food, and most importantly, no women. And why they need to give this up and jump into full-fledged wooing of the visiting ladies, the Princess of France, who's decided to come on diplomatic business. And so they've decided to throw caution to the wind and woo the women. And this is Baroon's argument for why he should do so.
All right, take it away.
Thanks. Have at you then, affection's men-at-arms. Consider what you first did swear unto, to fast, to study, and to see no woman? Flat treason 'gainst the kingly state of youth. Oh, we have made a vow to study, lords, and in that vow we have forsworn our books. For when would you, my liege, or you, in leaden contemplation have found out such fiery numbers as the prompting eyes of beauty's tutors have enriched you with? Other slow arts entirely keep the brain, but love, first learned in a lady's eye, lives not alone immured in the brain, but with the motion of all elements, courses as swift as thought in every power, and gives to every power a double power, above their functions and their offices. It adds a precious seeing to the eye. A lover's eyes will gaze an eagle blind. A lover's ear will hear the lowest sound, and when love speaks, the voice of all the gods make heaven drowsy with the harmony. Never durst poet touch a pen to write until his ink were tempered with love's sighs. From women's eyes this doctrine I derive. They sparkle still the right Promethean fire. They are the books, the arts, the academes that show, contain, and nourish all the world. Else none at all in aught proves excellent. Then fools you were these women to forswear, or keeping what is sworn you will prove fools. For wisdom's sake, a word that all men love, or for love's sake, a word that loves all men, or for men's sake, the author of these women, or for women's sake, by whom we men are men. Let's once lose our oaths to find ourselves, or else we lose ourselves to keep our oaths.
And wackiness ensues.
That was Benjamin Kearns.
Thanks very much. I hear applause out from the other side there, so thanks you all.
You're going to be
outside.
hearing a lot of applause this summer in St. Ronan Park.
I can't wait. I'm looking forward to it.
What's it called?
No, Edgerton Park.
On St. Ronan Street, where Elm Shakespeare, as usual, will be putting on a play for the whole community, a big highlight of the summer. And Benjamin Kearns, you're going to be acting in that play. You just gave us a taste of it.
I did.
And the reason you did that is because you're on the Radiothon, the Great Give Radiothon. We're raising money for 488 great not-for-profits in New Haven. This hour, we're asking you to go and give some money to the Elm Shakespeare Company. Oh, my God. At Elm Shakespeare, just go to thegreatgive.org, type in Elm Shakespeare, and please help them raise their fundraising goal. Do you have a goal?
We do, and it's a special goal this year because the M Fund has given us a $10,000 match.
Which fund?
The M Fund. They've supported us in the past, and they've really set the bar for us. We have traditionally raised about $8,500 in the Great
you
Give.
want to get up
So this is really helping us get to the next level.
So if the listeners don't pitch in now, it's possible that money will be left on the table. Just
it's
sitting
possible.
there. But that money can come help put on these great shows in the summer that you do of Elm Shakespeare and year-round how you work with kids. Because you don't only bring in great actors like Benjamin to New Haven.
No.
You also work with people in New Haven who are in the productions as well at all levels, acting, lighting, right?
Well, yes. I mean, and then we have education programs that are throughout the year. So one of the things that I love is that mentorship is really one of the core values of the company. So everybody in the company has something to teach as well as something to learn. So we have actors like Benjamin who are nationally known, highly respected classical actors from New York. We've had actors come from as far away as Prague in the past. Then we have local actors who are professional, amazing artists in and of themselves that are here from New Haven. Then we have our college apprentices because, as you know, we're so proud to be in residence at Southern Connecticut State University. And so we have student actors that are college apprentices. And then we have our high school interns who are just learning, and they're really figuring out whether or not a professional life in theater is going to be for them. And the truth is, sometimes they end up teaching us a lot too. Mm-hmm. So we have everybody has a hand up and a hand down, both learning and teaching in the company.
What does it add to our community, the fact that we have this group so dedicated to Shakespeare and local theater and working year-round with the community and then putting on this wonderful rite of end of summer performance? Why is it important that this keep going, that people give you money through the Great Give?
Well, Shakespeare is the one artist that has actually transcended pretty much every cultural barrier. He is produced in almost every language, in almost every country around the world. Because what he speaks about and the stories he's telling go to the very heart of who we are as humans. And so when we see these stories and we hear this poetry under a beautiful summer sky next to our neighbors who we may or may not know. So because it's free, everybody in New Haven comes to see it. And what that does is that actually solidifies who we are as a community.
And I feel like that kind of happens as it gets dark. Because you get there and it's bright out, it's kind of festive, and then you're lost in the play.
Yeah.
And you notice you're kind of almost out in the woods in the middle of New Haven, sort of with all these other people, and now all of a sudden you don't see them as clearly, and you kind of ghost in this play together. It's a fun night.
And you're laughing and you're crying together. It is something that really does. These are stories that unite us in our own humanity.
And what about you, Benjamin? Have you done much Shakespeare? Is that a lot of what you do as an actor?
I have done a considerable amount of Shakespeare regionally around the country and in New York.
Any theories that go along with Rebecca about why it's been so enduring and across so many cultures and why we're doing it all this time later in New Haven?
I think especially in 2018, I feel like so much of communication between people has been economized in such a way that, now we're like, we just tweet things,
OMG,
it's
yeah.
just like, now we're not even counting words, we're just counting characters,
But not character.
but not character. You got that right. But
And so when you do Shakespeare, how's that different from other roles?
so
you
for
play?
me, it's just like, you're learning from a master about how to communicate, and as actors, what we constantly are asking ourselves is like, what do I want and what do I need in this scene, and how am I going to try to get it from you? And I feel like if we can learn from him about like how to be clear with, what we're doing, or how to be, a little bit more elevated and a little bit more eloquent about, what it is that we want and what it is that we need, like we can communicate with each other. And if I could just say too, I was lucky enough a couple of weeks ago, one of the Elm Shakespeare programs that they're doing is I sat in on a rehearsal for this production of Merchant of Venice that teenagers from this area are doing. And I can't begin to tell you, they were mostly young ladies, and some of them are, lots of them are playing men. But the level of maturity
kind of turns Shakespeare on its side there.
A little
Ladies playing the man around the other way
but
around.
but in no way was it like a gimmick. You know what I mean? There was no like, hey, look at what we're doing. Like they're telling a story that's really hard, and really ugly in certain places, and to watch them, really a supplement, I think, whatever education they're getting from their regular schooling, in order to work with kids from schools that they might not go to learn about kids who are whose families have different incomes and who are different colors and are different in so many ways, and for them to work together to make this piece of art together. And I was just so lucky to watch a whole run through of this thing. And I told the education director, Sarah Bowles, that I was so impressed by, this is a play with, there's, racism and anti-Semitism and physical violence and then also this beautiful language and they're sort of tackling it all with aplomb and with fervor, and they're cheering each other on. And so, if that is the kind of thing that Elm is contributing to this community.
Where do you come from, Benjamin? Where do you?
I grew up in upstate New York.
Where?
And in Binghamton.
Mm-hmm. So you probably were influenced by the college there.
Yeah, my mother worked there.
And what kind of acting you've done? Where do you?
I just finished graduate school a year ago at the University of North Carolina in Chapel Hill, and I've been living in New York since then.
I was here. You really got some chops. As is Rebecca now, 3 years, so it's going fast. I said you were newish, but I still think you was a new person. When did Elm Shakespeare start?
Elm Shakespeare started back in 1995. Mm-hmm. So we're in our 23rd season. And for most of those years, we really have been known for the free outdoor Shakespeare performances that we started talking about. And I'm so pleased that Benjamin got a chance to mention, his experience with the teens. That has been the growth really in the last 3 years. We have this amazing education person, Sarah Bowles. She is remarkable. And we're working with 500 kids a year now.
Wow.
So that we have teen programs that are on the weekends. We're in schools. We're working with LEAP to do a special leadership program.
Excellent.
We're working with after-school programs. We're working to have summer camp. We're right in the middle of our huge summer camp. We have over almost 40 kids signed up for Shakespeare camp. So we're really this idea that we bring people together through Shakespeare, that these words that were written 400 years ago, that are eloquent, that speak to what it is to be human, and these stories which seemingly, you'd think 400 years ago are quite different from us, but actually deeply speak what our experiences are in the world today. And if we can do that on stage in the summers, or in the classrooms, or in the boardrooms, or on the street corner, then we feel like we're actually starting to do what we say we want to do, which is to bring people together through
Alan
Shakespeare.
Appel, who writes for The Independent, has written a lot about Elm Shakespeare, is here in the studio. And Alan, you've watched Elm Shakespeare evolve. I'm really enjoying meeting Rebecca, because I love her energy and her vision of this and how they're evolving this. So when people give through the great gift to Elm Shakespeare, which we're asking you to do, you heard that you're not just supporting this wonderful tradition of the summer play, but that throughout the year they're working with 500 kids now. in theater in the city and bringing people together. What have you noticed about the evolution? Because you've been writing about this group for over a decade for The Independent.
Yeah. Hi, Rebecca.
Alan.
Hi, Ben.
Hi.
And that was a wonderful Hall of Fairness soliloquy that I heard on the radio. And I'm going to answer your question, Paul. But you know what? One of the things that came to mind is, as I was listening, and because you described this guy as a blowhard, Hall of Fairness. Isn't he a
Yes.
biblical character that gets his head cut off? He is.
Well, he plays. Yeah, there's a play.
But the name.
Spoiler alert.
Spoiler alert! Spoiler alert!
But do I have that right? That's where the name comes from. It's from the Book of Judges in the Hebrew Bible. You check it out.
Yes, you've done your homework, sir, as always.
Alan's a playwright.
It's a yes, it's a pleasure.
And what's the best punishment for a blowhard?
To lose your tongue.
Well, that's right. And everything has attached to it. Yeah.
Yes.
No, it's wonderful. So, I think that's right. I don't know. So, what I would say, Paul, is that over the last number of years, I think this. Well, first of all, being in residence at the college and being
Yes.
connected to the kind of education side of Elm Shakespeare, I think you've really emphasized that aspect and kind of up the game of the company that way. While maintaining the kind of anchoring wonderful quality
And
of
taking
the
an
summer show.
established New Haven arts institution and making sure it can go long term. Because that's that big transition time when the founder leaves and somebody else establishes herself and takes it and helps it grow. That's what we got to help you do today.
Well, thank you. And well,
That's right.
and we're thrilled. The support of the company in the transition was just remarkable. And Jim is coming back this year. Jim will actually be playing Don de Adriano
Awesome.
de Armado.
This is Jim Andreassi,
Jim Andreassi,
So
the
what-
founder.
in,
So
in Love's Labor Lost.
in Love's Labor's Lost.
Oh,
So
how
and it's
wonderful.
just a wonderful part for him. So
Right.
that'll be great.
He
and
could have been the blowhard.
So is there any
he could. That's true.
is there any
Maybe
reason
perhaps.
I can't think of any reason why someone listening right now would not go to thegreatgive.org. Thegreatgive.org.
thegreatgive.org.
And type in Elm Shakespeare
Uh-huh.
and give a donation so that you can be among the 488 nonprofits doing great work in New Haven to get us toward the $1.5 million goal over 36 hours. Is that a deal?
I think that's an excellent deal.
Okay, so
I
everybody
think-
listening now, please just take a sec because we're going to take a break. So that gives you time. You're not going to miss anything.
Right?
And Paul, I did it this morning, I believe,
All right.
if I'm not mistaken.
And it was
You
really
did?
it was
We
really
are-
great
we are
to
so
hear.
lucky.
It was really great to hear Benjamin Kearns. I loved hearing your excerpt from the play.
Thanks very much. It
It was
great
great
to be here.
meet Rebecca Goodhart, who's the producing artistic director.
And you know, Paul,
Shakespeare.
Rebecca has a wonderful voice, as you've noticed. And I think the emphasis on the language of Shakespeare, as opposed to all the other stuff of Shakespeare, is something that she over the last couple of years has brought into special focus.
Oh, well,
All right.
thank you. And I'm really excited to be directing this year. So that'll be even more and more.
All right, folks,
On
see-
we go.
You got your marching on thegreatgive.org, Elm Shakespeare Company. If you feel like it, WNHH, the radio station you're listening to, not-for-profit, public interest station. If you want to keep that alive, throw us a few bucks too. And thanks for coming in, folks. We're going to take a quick break before we're back at the Great Give Radiothon, where Justin Elliker, the Land Trust, does what's one of the highlights of our radiothon every year. He brings his guitar, he makes up a song on the spot,
Ah,
and you might even be able to join in. So
not to be missed.
hold tight. We're going to listen to the Afro-Semitic Experience performing I Wish I Knew What It Was Like to Be Free. We know what it's like. We just got to book our flight.